Go.
Hey, good morning. Morning, everybody. I hope everybody had a wonderful, happy Easter. And here we are, heading toward the next one, I guess. Uh, it's Mike Iazina here in a windy, nasty St. Augustine, Florida. We're right in the midst of what we call a northeaster. The modern day folks call it nor'easter, but anyway, it's the same thing. That's when the wind blows out the northeast for an extended period of time, and that's traveling music. A northeast wind is traveling music for fish. They will move, especially the schools of mullet. They used to really, we'd get a northeaster, but we always get one in April for some reason, but normally we don't get northeasters until September and October, the hurricane season. But anyway, what I'm going to do today is a little hodgepodge of things. I've got a young fellow that's wants to be a net maker, and he's going to come over tonight. And I'm going to starting this little net to get him going on where he can tie knots. But the reason I'm even showing you this is because there's something very important, and that is the tie-in when you finish a row. That's always one of the most important things, is doing that right and getting it pretty and even, because it's going to affect your net. It's going to affect it, get it out of all the whole length of it. If you don't get that, if you don't get those things relatively close, and there's ways to get around it. I ain't got time to show you that right now. But anyway, what I'm doing here, this is going to be 42. I'm going to count them, because I don't know. I forgot what, doesn't matter. I wanted to show you how to put the last couple in and tie in. Then I'm going to move over to my battle station over here with where I'm working on a Dacron net that's going to Fort Wayne, Indiana, 8-foot mullet net. Anyway, we'll move over there. Okay, so I'm going to count these. See how I start these things. I showed you this before, but I'm going to show you again. I'm going to count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, what it's supposed to be, 38. Now, I'm going to put in the last 3, then I'm going to tie it in, which will make number 42. Remember, I've told you that whenever you're starting a net, your tie-in is your last mesh. Don't forget that. All right. Now, see what I'm doing here? This is just a little plastic needle, and I had some line on that I want to get rid of, because I don't use this kind of stuff. But to get started, and so what I do, I go in between my loop. Now the thing about, you see different people, they use a little ring to start the net on, and it doesn't make sense. Use something that when you finish the net, you got something to tie it onto the horn of the net with. That's what this is for. All right. What I said? What was that? 38, Phil?
38.
30. All right. I'm doing number 30, and I see what I'm doing. I went through that. It came down. I'm going to double tie this. You have to double tie these things because they will slip. However you choose to do it, you can do it twice or do it like I'm doing and all in one motion. That's what, 39. See what I'm doing? I come in between here. I bring this down. This is starting a net, by the way, folks. This is what this is. All right, this is what, number 40, Phil?
Yep.
All right, see what I did? I went through it once and I come back and going through it again, double tying it. Pull it good and tight. That's 39. We're going to do this is number 40. And you know what I normally do? I count it again. But I'm not going to do that. I think that this is number 40. All right. Only thing this is number 41. This is the last one. Now see how I keep these straight across? You want this, You want this last one to be the same distance as your first one. In reference to, we'll explain that to you in a minute. All right. Number 41.
And the tie-in will be 42.
The tie-in will be number 42. Okay. Now, here comes the tricky part. Even harder when you're starting it. Because you see, Phil, can you see this out?
I'll try and get close. Hold it still.
See how even my first one is to the last one? The loops, I'm talking about the reference to that loop that I'm starting with. See how I've kept them even? That's what you want to see. And what you do is you check it as you go along. I've showed you that. That's in another video. How you do that. Now, I'm going to bring this down. I'm going to hold these things even. All right. Now, take your gauge. You want to tie this knot. I'm going to show you. Now, some people have great difficulty with this for some reason. You catch your tail. That's the tail along with the, see what I'm doing? I'm just making it simple. I go over and I go back underneath it and I catch my tail and pull it through. I'm just tying a simple knot. That's all it is. I want, this knot now has to be the same size as this mesh. So what I'm looking at that, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to take and do an easy tie. I don't pull that tight. Notice how I didn't pull that tight at all. I'm going to take my gauge and I've got to come down. I've got that I know I'm too close. I'm going to slide that knot down a little bit. I'm going to come in here like this. I'm going to pull it. Now, what I want, when I come up here to start this thing, that mesh has to sit right on top of the leading edge. See that? See that? Can you see that, Phil?
I'm coming in. Stay still.
Come in. See that knot right here? This knot right there. See, I've got it sitting right on the leading edge of that mesh board. It's not beyond it. It's not below it. Half the knot is on the board, half the knot is off. A little bit tricky, but with some practice. But if you do it that way, this net will stay perfect and straight the whole way. Every row, you do the same thing. Okay, I'm just going to tie a couple of knots, and I'm going to put this down. Do this later. I'm just going to. Here we go. What do you call this knot? I call it the English knot. The modern day people call it the Flying Dutchman. So now, can you see that? Can you see that when how that mesh sits right on the front of the leading edge of that board, and that other knot's right beside it? When I pull that, see how even they are? That's what you want to see. You want to see that the whole length of your net. It takes some practice. You know, I'm just going to do a couple here, and I'm going to lay this down. I'm going to move over. But anyway, this is the start of. It's just going to be a test net. The young fellow, I'm gonna run it down today, just a few more rows to where we start the windings, where I can get him. I want him to be able to take it home and practice tying knots. Okay. With that said, all right, we're going to move over. What are you telling me to do, brother? Take the thing with me?
You just put it over there and face it to the chair.
Okay. Y'all just bear with us a minute. We're going to be a little bit disorganized here for a short period of time. And Phil,
Right there.
right there, okay?
Yep.
I don't get it too close. That's not too close. Now I'll move over here. What I'm working on here is this is an 8-foot Dacron, braided Dacron, Cortland braided Dacron, 30-pound test. I like to mix up the colors, but every now and then somebody wants one solid color. This fella is in, like I said, Fort Wayne, Indiana. So somebody in Fort Wayne, Indiana want a mullet net. I asked him that. Well, he's got some family down in North Carolina, and what he does, he takes his vacation, and he will go there and I don't know for how long, whether it's 2 weeks or a month or what he does, but and he goes fishing. He'll go over on the beach and cast his net. So he wants a good net. So that's what he wants with this. Now we know about this. This is showed you this. I can demonstrate that knot a little mesh a little bit to you. See what I'm doing. Okay. First of all, I had the line around that needle where it wouldn't come off so bad, loosen up. This stuff loosens terrible. Another quick bit of information. I know there's people out there because they look at the videos and they want to learn how to make a net yourself. It's a great hobby, great peaceful, relaxing time to do that. Make your own nets. Don't think you're going to start with Dacron. Don't attempt it. You got to use that bonded nylon from wherever you get it. Memphis Net and Twine is a great supplier. Good people. They sell everything under the sun dealing with fishing. I mean, you name it, they sell it. But they sell a good line of net making. They don't sell they're a little plastic, but they don't sell the mesh boards. There's a place you can find them on eBay. Just look up knitting needles, and you'll find them on eBay. There's a place I bought the plastic ones that I use with people learning. Just a plastic mesh board. They come in a kit. Be 4 or 5 different sizes for not expensive, $7, $8 for the plastic mesh boards, and they're good for starting, but they will nick from pulling the knots. You know, that plastic is not that hard, so it's just something to learn with, but to get you started. But Jan's Netcraft does sell those. I bought them from them, you know, because I give them to people when they're learning. And the needles are something that if you notice, and I've showed you this, notice how tight that is around that eye. If you'll zoom in on that, they can see how that gap, how close that gap is. That's what you want. That is with the Dacron. Nylon is not a super issue, but it is with Dacron. It'll loosen. I've special made this needle for knitting Dacron, and as you can see, it's loose. It's not real pretty and tight on there, but it's fine. It does okay.
What's a good bonded weight to start when you're learning? The bonded nylon, what's a good weight? 7, 6?
What's that, Phil?
When they start with the line.
30-pound test.
Right. Is there a number on it, like 7 or 8?
No. Oh, no. It's a fishing line. Dacron is a fishing line. It's not for making nets. It's for putting on a reel and going out and catching tunas and that.
No, the bonded nylon. They go by number.
Bonded nylon goes by numbers.
Right.
Yes. I'm sorry. Thank you. I didn't understand what you was talking about. Number 4. If you want to order you a spool of nylon, number 4 is the best bet. That's what I've got over there. It comes in 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It goes right on up. I use a 15 for the braille lines. When I was making nylon nets regularly, I'd start with a number 6, come down about 8, 10 rows, because that's where your hand is. That's where you're handling it the most. Come down about 8, 8, 10 rows. Then I'd drop down to 5, number 5. I'd come down 2 or 3 feet because you're handling it up in there for the first 3 or 4 feet. Then I'd drop down to 4, and the last foot I'd go back to 5 or 6. Because the bottom, then that's what rubs on the bottom. When you throw it out there and you pull it in, that lead line is what's. That's why I use a 1/4 inch solid braid nylon lead line. Now, where was I at?
You're going to start the net.
I was going to tie a couple of knots. I was going to tie you a couple of knots. That's the Flying Dutchman. Where did he go? Who come up with that name? Phil, did you come up with that?
No, and that came with the Flying Dutchman.
I'd love to know who's the brainstorm behind that one. If anybody comes across that, let me know, will you? Put it, send me a post or something on YouTube and let me know who started that. I don't know where it come from, but it's neat anyhow, whatever you want. Call it anything you like. I'm being of Menorcan ancestry. I gotta check myself here, make sure I'm not on a damn widening road. I got two plain rusty open. Pull that down, you come around that little finger like that, you throw that loop, you come back in on the back side, you pick up your mesh. Now, another thing about Dacron is it's harder to work. It's harder to work with. It's going to cut your hands. Gotta be present of that. And when you tie that knot, it's tied. So you're not going to be able to untie that so easy. That's why I keep telling you, don't try to learn with Dacron. It's just one of those things that excuse me, got something damn frog in my throat here.
Pollen.
Pollen. Phil hit the nail on the head. That wind's blowing. Not bad today. Yesterday that wind blew constant over 30 miles an hour all day. And light rain all day. Not supposed to rain today, but then I think again, Thursday and Friday it's supposed to rain.
Mm-hmm.
All right, with that, a couple of things. I know I've probably mentioned this before, but the figure, when you finish your net, when you put your double row, you always end up with a double row. Let's say you make it 10, I don't matter whether you make it, whatever length you make it, 5, 6, 8, 10, whatever you want to make it. You want to figure out how much lead line goes around the bottom of that net. So you got to figure the circumference. The circumference. It's going to be the same. I don't care how many windings is in it. But anyway, you want 7 and 7 is 14 times 3. What's that, 42?
I didn't bring my calculator. Do that again. 7 and 7, 14 times 3.
Feet. So when you go to your wherever you buy the stuff, Memphis Net and Twine will sell you any length of it you want. It's a 1/4 inch solid braid nylon. You can buy the 42 feet, but don't buy 42, buy 45 because the chances of you ended up dead on the money are remote. You know? So anyway, you want to get enough where you got a little spill there, we call it. That's the way you figure your circumference. The length of the net twice, 7 7 is 14, 6 and 6 is 12, whatever it may be, times 3. That's going to give you the circumference. That's how far, if that net is perfectly spread in a perfect circle, that's what it's going to be. From point A back around to point A, you're going to end up, it's going to be 42 feet, and so on, whatever. All right, that covers that. Memphis Net and Twine will sell you 40 to 45 feet, or 30 feet, whatever you want, or they'll sell you 600 feet, or they'll sell you 1,200 feet, whatever size spool you want. I get 600-foot spools because I use a lot, you know. This net here, we're going to jump up because it's going to be 8, 16, so what's that going to be, Phil? 48? 8 and 8, 16 times 3. Anyhow.
Yeah, about 48 feet.
48 foot. So you'd want to buy 50 foot. Okay. The Monday we're going to make sinkers, aren't we? That's what our plans for Monday. We'll make sinkers for this net. I'll have it pretty close. It's just over. It's just, I don't know. It's approaching 4.5 feet. I'll have this thing, depends on how I feel like fooling with it. You know, I try to work 2-3 hours a day, and that's the most, because I got stuff to do outside, you know, and do other things other than sit down here on my butt and knit on a net. But,
Are you still on the video?
yeah, we're still doing the video. Okay, I think I probably talked enough. I've covered the important things. And with that said, you guys, whatever you do, I like to hear from you. My buddy J.D. Powell, I know you're going to be looking at this. J.D. sent me an email a couple of days ago. Want to know when I was going to do another video. But anyway, he keeps tabs on me. Anyway, okay. With that said, we're going to wrap it up. Until the next time, y'all stay safe, take care of yourself, stay out of trouble. Working on the net, work on it. If you need help, contact me, call me. This is Menorcan Magic, homemade cast net, handmade cast nets here in St. Augustine, Florida. 904-217-7974. If you want to email me, Usinamike, that's USINAMIKE @gmail.com. Let me know how you're doing. And so until next time, take care.